with sound, hopefully. Okay. Hello, library friends, and our teen program. Welcome to Teen Talk. I'm Toby, and I'm here with the Youth Services team at South Charleston Public Library. I have two very special guests today. We have
Karen Klein
and
Miss Denise.
all right, and they are visiting us today to help us with our program here. So we'll get started in just a couple of seconds, and we'll let you guys know everything going on this week. But we've got some exciting topics, so I'm excited. So we have over 50 of you reading with us now. So thank you.
Yay.
Tell more of your friends to sign up. We got lots of prizes. There's plenty to go around. Make sure you guys are getting your 5 books in, or no prizes for you. So just make sure you get your 5 books this summer. Remember, graphic novels, audiobooks, ebooks, all of it counts. So get it in there. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
All right. So we're going to start with our Wall of Prizes Spotlight. So Miss Karen and Miss Denise have some prizes to share with you.
Okay, so I have the first prize to show off, and this is the Daughters of the Moon gift bag. And there are volume 1 and 2 of the Daughters of the Moon series by Lynn Ewing. This is Goddess of the Night and Into the Cold Fire. There's also a amber bath bomb and 3 friendship bracelets that have sun and moon and stars. So it's pretty awesome. I would love to get that. But it's not the adult set, so
Yeah, too bad.
it's just for you.
And then we have our camp gift set, and this is the first of the series of camp books, and I think there's 3 or 4 of those now. So this is the first book in the series, and there's 2 sets of 10 lights that are fireflies, so you can make your room into your own special camping spot and have some fun with that.
All right. I think those are exciting gifts. I'd like either the lights, the bath bomb, all of it's good. So
Yes.
All right, guys. So Miss Denise has a secret code.
Yes, this week's secret code is GROW, G-R-O-W. So please make sure you put that into the system where you log your books, so you'll get a ticket just for watching our video today about teens.
Yes. All right. Well, as you guys know from previous weeks, we always have an interview with the pro segment. So this week our pro is Miss Karen. And so Miss Karen, will you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy to. I am my current profession, my job is I'm a lawyer. I work for a small firm here in South Charleston, Moore & Visor, which is just a block over from the library, and we, among other things, are the city attorneys for the city of South Charleston. So I do a lot of work with Miss Denise and Todd, the director here at the library, as well as the mayor and a lot of the folks that you guys probably run into in the city. Before this, I was a journalist. And I started out my career at the Charleston Daily Mail, and then worked in newspapers for about 12 years. And some of the other cool things that I do as a lawyer, in addition to being the city attorney, is I am the chancellor, which means I'm the legal advisor to the Episcopal Bishop of the Diocese of West Virginia, which is pro bono work, which is just lawyerese for free. So that's primarily what I do with my time professionally.
All right. So let's go to the next one. So you said you've worked in other fields in the past already. So tell us a little bit about those, and tell us about how they relate to one another.
Okay. Before I went to law school when I was 35. So before I went to law school, for 12 years, I worked in journalism, as I said. Started out at the Daily Mail, which doesn't exist anymore here in Charleston. And I love journalism because it was a chance to use my writing and language skills to share information to the public, but I also got to learn something new every day. And writing skills are something that's so important. And even if you don't work, you asked how my 2 careers relate. Even if you don't work in newspapers or writing for a profession, communication skills and the ability to communicate ideas clearly is so important in any profession that you're in.
Yeah. I agree. I was saying before we got started, a lot of times if you're out there applying for your first job, second job, third job, jobs after college, you'll see in almost every job there, strong written and vocal communication skills is on all of them. So,
Absolutely.
you know, you may not need to write prize-winning novels, but you'll need to be able to put your ideas down on paper. So make sure that you guys are paying attention to those kind of things.
Absolutely.
If you could give your teenage self advice about preparing for the future, what would you say?
One of the things that I would say the most is to challenge yourself. I would tell younger me, challenge myself, stretch my skills and my knowledge. And one thing that I sort of pigeonholed myself into a couple things that I was interested in, but I should have explored new things so that I could find something that really grabbed my interest and then hang on tight to it. As I said, I changed careers at one point because I really sort of didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I was younger, but I needed to, I think, stretch a little bit more and find something that really called to me. I really believe that everybody has a calling, a place that there's a saying that says everybody has a calling, and the calling is where your great joy fills the world's great need. And there's a place in the world for everybody.
Yes.
And so I really needed what I would tell my younger self is find that calling and really pursue it. But also understand that you don't have to have all the answers right away.
Yeah.
Callings change, and a calling likely will change. So, but don't be afraid of change.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's going to piggyback right into our next question. So, do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Well, no. I mean, it's assuming I haven't grown up yet.
Yes.
At 55, I don't think I have. But what I want to do most, I think, is do something that lets me use my writing, my speaking skills, and all of the things that I've learned over the years. And I'm also, as I mentioned, involved in the church, and so I want to share my love of God with others. Mm-hmm. So what I'm hoping to do, and Miss Denise has known me for a very long time and knows that this has been a long process, but I'm hoping to go to seminary and become an Episcopal priest.
That's really cool.
So that's my, maybe 5-year down the road plan. So as I said, callings change.
And all right, let's see. So I guess I'll give you the easy one. If there is anything I haven't asked you, or any of the questions that I forgot about, what would you would like to tell our readers? What would they be?
Like I said, find what really tweaks your interest, what really gives you great joy, and find a way to make that work. Not everything that you enjoy has to be just for fun. Mm-hmm. If you don't love what you do, and I know Miss Denise has said so many times she's in her dream job, if you don't love what you do, it's just going to be a job. It's not going to be something that really fulfills you. So live to work. Don't work to live.
Very true.
That's cool. All right. Well, thank you again. I really appreciate it, Miss Karen. All right.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so if those of you who picked up craft kits, which they're all gone, so I'm assuming that you did, you'll know that our book for this week is Speak by Lori Haas Anderson, and the reprint copy, which I think you guys have, is published by Squarefish Press. So that's our publisher. So a little bit first, Lori Haas Anderson is a very prolific YA novelist. She writes lots, and if you don't know what YA means, it's young adults. It's books for you. She writes lots of books for young adults. So we have lots of her books here at our young adult section at South Charleston, as well as a graphic novelization of Speak. If you have not, if you don't want to read the whole thing, you could try the graphic novel first and see what you think. But before we start, and I don't want to go into too many specifics because I don't want to spoil the plot for you, but Speak is a book about working through trauma, so it may not be the easiest book for all readers to read. However, I think it's an important book for teenage readers, and that this week's themes of health and growth really tie into it. So I'm going to share the back of the book with you before we launch into our book club discussion, but just take that with a grain of salt. If you have it on the shelf and you maybe want to look and see what some of the topics are before you delve into it, this is my little content warning. It is sometimes a difficult book to read. Like, we had trouble with it, and that, like, it deals with a lot of really big emotions and hard things. So just be aware.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So freshman year at Meriwether High is not going well for Melinda Sordino. She busted an end of summer party by calling the cops, and now her friends, even strangers, all hate her. So she stops trying, stops talking, retreats into her head, and all the lies and hypocrisies of high school become magnified, leaving her with no desire to talk to anyone anyway. But it's not so comfortable in her head either. There's something banging around in there that she doesn't want to think about. She can't just go on like this forever. Eventually, she's going to have to confront the thing she's avoiding, the thing that happened at the party, the thing that nobody but her knows. She's going to have to speak the truth. So Miss Denise was our designated reader this week. So she read Speak. I did too, but we designate someone that can be our book talk. So you can pretend that you are Miss Denise, or you can hit us up in the comments and let us know what you thought of the book. That would be great. So Miss Denise, tell us a little bit about the title and how it relates to the story.
It's a very interesting piece that she called it Speak, because during the course of the storyline, she ceases to speak or communicate with other people. And I think that she goes so far inward that she realizes that her voice needs to be heard by other people, and how she works through that and uses other forms of expression. But the author also, the way her words go together, and the author's voice and how she speaks, create such a vivid picture through the whole process. And it's kind of a walk through a freshman year of high school, that even though this book was written in 1999, I think 2000, it's still issues I dealt with in high school. It's issues people deal with today. So it's very timeless in that regard, because I think there's still issues everybody deals with as going through growth and dealing with things that we happen upon us unexpectedly, or traumas that we go through in that phase of our lives.
And I think, I agree. I think it is a very true of high school novel, and that, like, to everyone I know that has read it has said, well, that was my high school experience. Like the timing, the, like, what's, people's clothes may be different, what's popular in the course of the story may be different, but in terms of, like, the truth of what's happening,
the experience
still reigns true today.
Absolutely.
All right. So what does this novel have to say about speaking without using words, such as in art?
Yes, she does really develop a positive connection with her art teacher, who helps her express her voice through art. And it's interesting to think about how we do that and how we communicate even non-verbally with other people. But it's interesting because she keeps coming back to the question when she gets positive reinforcement, when she leaves a note for her mom. She's like, maybe I should speak. And things like that happen, that are just small things that happen throughout the course of the story that come back to that needing your voice and needing to share your words and opinions with other people. So
I agree. And
even though it's hard.
I think that, like, and also, like, the expression through art, like, sometimes that feels a place where if we're not ready to talk about things yet, it can be a beneficial process in reaching that point. Because, like, there's a lot of people that do art therapy and whatnot, like, and stuff like that, to kind of help you get there. I know Miss Karen is a singer.
Yes.
And so art can help you really feel those emotions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Indeed.
kinds. So what do you think about this novel's approach to showing a character's internal struggles and how the author handles that?
I really like the voice of the book, because it all comes from Melinda's perspective, and hearing how other people interact with her and how she responds to them just from our internal voices. And we all have that internal voice that speaks to us all the time, even though it's our worst critic sometimes. And things that happen outside of her that she's watching, and takes on the voice of something that's really negative when it really didn't need to be a negative, but that was the way she picked up on it. And again, because we are our own hardest viewers of the world. I mean, that's just a big part of it. But it really makes you feel what that character is going through. She did a fantastic, I was really impressed with this author.
Okay.
And I read part of the book and then listened to part of the audiobook. And the audiobook was true to word. It was not an abridgment. So it was word by word. And it's interesting because it's written in small little snippets. So one will say art class, and it'll be 3 or 4 paragraphs. And then it goes back and says after school, or, you know, and she takes to hiding out during the day in different places. You'll see as you read the book, I don't want to give too much away, and how that's her hiding is also her holding her voice in. So
Because there's the silent parts of the book a lot of the time.
That's true.
So it's a good.
that's true.
So without spoilers, I'm not spoil anything because, like, you know,
I
a big
know.
part of this book is the
The
coming to terms with it.
Yes.
So without spoilers, what did you think about the ending?
It left me very emotional, but it was still a good way to end the book.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
So it answered a lot of questions, but still, it's very raw. It's very, very raw. So, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a gut punch of a book,
Mhm.
but it's very strong and like that, like, you know, the resolution, I think, provides catharsis
That's
for
true.
the tension of the story.
That's
you know,
true.
like the
That's
tension
true.
of all the tension of like the what's going on internally, externally, and all of like all the things pushing back and forth. I think
Yes. They did resolve
they
most.
resolved most of it
Right.
in a way that makes you feel like things can move on
Yes.
from Melinda, which
Well,
is
and
good.
one of the things that really stood out to me too in that book was the list of 10 things they tell you in high school. And then 10 things, there's a second list later in the book, is 10 things they don't tell you about high school that you should know. And those haven't changed.
No.
So it's very, very interesting in that regard. So, but it is very much a glimpse at true freshman year experience.
So I recommend
Yep,
that. I
definitely
hope
recommend
all of your freshman year's experience were better than Melinda's.
Yes, we definitely. want
And
to
you
have
never
that.
have that experience, like you never
Yeah.
have those kind of experiences. But in case you do,
Mhm.
but even for people that don't, there's lots of true things about friendship and learning to process your life that are in there. So check that one out if you
Right.
want to.
And that's the beauty of reading fiction
Yeah.
too, is you get to experience someone else's life and see something that may never happen to you, but still learn from it, which is very, very
That
interesting.
was Lori Haas's Anderson's one of her big advices to write. Big advice to writers is write the story that is hard to write, and she said that this was her hardest book to write.
I'm
So
sure. Yeah.
check it out. Anyway,
Yep, good stuff.
read
Very
it.
good. Give it 2 thumbs up.
Yes. So this week, so hopefully you got, well, I know you all picked up your craft kits. You all have craft kits. Someone has craft kits.
Yes.
So while you were, so they were our Eat Healthy and Grow craft kit. So you should have received some seeds and planting materials for making your own little mini gardens, and also some cake and or brownies. So, you know, it's not all about the healthy stuff all the time.
Yes.
So we hope you have fun with your miniature gardens and perhaps discover a few recipes for your homegrown goodies if you get them to that point. So good luck with that.
Yes.
Next week is Read on Your Own week, which is which basically means we don't have a Teen Talk next Wednesday, but we do still have crafts for you guys available as of today. So these are this is the Teen Summer Craft. If you don't know, our theme for the younger students has been Tails and Tales this summer. So we have some animal themed postcards for you guys. So we hope that you practice your letter writing skills. Send some to your favorite authors or your friends or whatever you guys want to do with these. But they are a nice little coloring activity as well. So just distress and take a week off. Make sure you're still doing your reading though. And then, so programs won't start back until the next week. So for Teen Talk on July 14th, next Wednesday, you'll be able to pick up this craft, which is our vision board craft for Wednesday, July 14th. And so if you don't know what a vision board is and you're not sure what that means, just go pick one up and it will walk you through it.
Yes.
But again, piggybacking on this week, it's about next week or the next time we're together will be about learning about yourself and
Yes.
what your future might hold. So this is for that. Miss Olivia made this one. Doesn't she do a good job?
Mhm.
All right.
Yes,
all
indeed.
right, guys. Well, thank you guys for being here. Anything else before we head off this evening? No.
Thanks for having another good time of talking about books and reading and all kinds of fun things at the
And
library.
Thank you.
And thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I really appreciate you coming, Miss Karen. She has lots of experience and lots of different things, and I think that just goes to show, as you grow through life, you don't always there are things that can change, and you don't always have to be afraid of that. Like it can be good things.
Very true.
Absolutely.
On that note, thank you.
Yes.
And
Bye,
bye.
everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Let's